it's a really good workout. It's honestly becoming kind of my go-to, like during the middle of the day, and I want to do some good cardio. This Creed Rise to Glory game is actually really good. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, it's kind of fun that the Oculus is now my go-to for like quick, super fun, but yet still effective workouts. And I thought maybe going over some of my other go-tos would also be a lot of fun and probably really interesting, maybe even beneficial for you. So on Instagram, I posed the question, what are the go-tos that you want to see? And I had you send in all of your go-tos. So today, we're gonna go over all of those. I think this will be a lot of fun, so let's get into the questions. Jacqueline asks, sorry, I've got my iPad where everything's on there. Jacqueline asks, what are my morning routine go-tos? Well, first of all, I actually don't really have the typical morning routine. I will say every single morning, the first thing I do is jot down my schedule and the critical tasks for my day in my Panda planner. And I went into more detail on my morning routine in this video that's going to pop up here. So definitely check that out. But I also make sure that I wake up before everybody else so I get a couple of hours of uninterrupted work. Jackie also wants to know, what are my go-tos for my hiking gear? Well, I'm honestly not much of a hiker, all right? I really don't know what I'm doing. I kind of just follow my wife around. She's the super prepared, super smart hiking one. She knows everything there is to know about hiking, pretty much. But I can say that on every single trip, I'm taking a few things with me. These are the bags that I pretty much use for all of my hikes. I'm always taking a pack with me because I've pretty much always got my camera with me. If it's a really small hike, I'll take this. This is my Peak Design 3-liter bag. I also have the 6-liter, which I kind of had to buy when I bought my new camera because it's so much bigger than my old one. But this thing is just awesome. I love this. It's a great little sling. Peak Design makes awesome stuff, but this is for my super easy day hikes. If I'm going on something bigger and I want more photography gear, then I'll take this. This is the Boundary Supply Prima. Awesome bag. Boundary Supply makes great stuff. Just the little vid lock, worth the price of admission. But this is such a solid, comfortable bag. Then the best hiking travel bag I've ever bought, even with all of its faults, is the Boundary Supply Aris. As you can see, this thing's roughed up. I use it all the time. It's incredibly comfortable. If you're not looking for a camera-specific hiking bag, you really can't beat this. I've also got usually a drone with me, and that is the Mavic Air 2S. Just recently picked this up. I also have the Mavic Mini, so if I want something really small, then I'll take the Mavic Mini. Generally have like a GoPro 9 with me, my little action cam, and also my new favorite action camera, this Insta360 X2. It's a 360 camera. You can do some awesome stuff with this thing. Now inside that pack, the rest of the space, if it's not camera gear, is snacks. So a lot of meat sticks from like a Yoba, I believe, maybe Chomps, and then a ton of bars from either, what is it? Not Cliff Bar. I don't use Cliff Bars. I honestly can't remember. Or my favorite are those like Kashi peanut butter chocolate ones. Those things are amazing. And then I also have like water with some electrolytes in it by a company called Element. The pants, I'm almost always rocking my Duer Adventure pant. Those things are my favorite pant of all time. And then for shoes, because this is really the only gear I have, for shoes I'm either wearing my Nike Lupinek, which is like a tactical boot, and I've had it for like 6 years, best shoe I've ever bought. Or again, Melissa bought me some on like hiking, like low top hikers. I don't know the name. I'll put everything in the description below, but those are super solid as well. They're very sticky, great for like climby, rocky types of hikes. I think that covered everything on the hiking. Casey Patterson, what up, dude? Old volleyball homie asks, go-tos for combating a 3-hour commute after an intense 3-hour training session. I've never had the commute, but I've had the training session. I know what you're going through. So here are my go-tos for that. 1, icy hot. Dude, cramping. Cramping is inevitable. Icy hot was the only thing that stopped cramping. I don't know if people use that. I know people swear by Pedialyte and pickle juice, and those are great the day before to keep you hydrated, but icy hot like actually gets rid of cramps. It's pretty amazing. That, and I'll use my Compex to do a couple of warm-ups, cool downs, anything to keep the blood flow going, because you're stuck in a car and everything starts to restrict. So the Compex is money for that. Karen asks, go-tos, benefits for different mobility tools, injury prevention, warm-ups. All of those are in different videos, and I will link them down below. But they don't really fit the criteria of go-tos, which would be like products, people, or places. But I will share with you my go-tos for SMR tools. You asked about mobility tools, and I love the two, the ball and the foam roller with a motor in it from Hyperice. Those things are amazing. I can't remember the names. I think it's Viper and Venom. I also use resistance bands for stretching. I like joint distractions better than just normal stretching. All right, hopefully that helps. Amanda asks, portable protein solution. If it's powdered, any powdered protein is going to be portable. I prefer whey protein isolate, usually because of taste and the amount of protein you can get, but a really good protein source that most people don't think of that's actually way more earth-friendly and sustainable is cricket protein. So check that out. David asks, my go-tos for supplements. Now, I actually don't use a lot of supplements, and most supplements just frankly don't work. But here are some that I use for a variety of reasons. Most of the supplements I'm taking nowadays are for my brain. After 5, 6 concussions, if my brain isn't working that day, I'm at a standstill. So performance, everything just comes to a grinding halt. So brain supplements, super important. And I use a combination of NAD3 and NR to help kind of rebuild broken, damaged neurons and reverse aging. I also use lion's mane for help with my memory. I've experienced some memory problems because of the concussions. Now for fat loss, I really just stick to food mostly, but I will use L-carnitine, like liquid L-carnitine. It's cheap, it's effective, and it can be very tasty depending on the flavor you get. And then I also use caffeine, which is a stimulant, and it's the most widely studied supplement on the planet. So it's super safe depending on your tolerance, and I have a really high tolerance. Now I hate coffee. I hate it. I think it tastes like warm lawn clippings soaked in pond water. So I don't do it. Instead, I use pre-workout. This is currently my favorite. This is Amino Energy from Optimum Nutrition. This is great, but the watermelon is delicious, and this only has 100 milligrams of caffeine. So you don't have to drink 300 in a setting. I like that it only has 100, but it tastes delicious and it works really, really well. Plus it's got amino acids in it. Yay! Jake wants to know, what are my go-tos for videography? Finally, something I really enjoy talking about. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but Jake does. So Jake, here we go. So my main A-cam, this cam right here, I switched over to a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro. God, that name. But anyway, the image quality is amazing. I'm not even using like the 6K RAW that it's capable of. I'm just using like ProRes HQ. But that's the major reason I bought it, is it has internal ProRes, which means the workflow on my Mac is super easy. So Blackmagic Pocket 6K Cinema 6K Pro, whatever. This is an 11-16, but I have a bunch of Sigma glass that I use on it. And then over there is so this is my A cam, and that's my B cam. So for in-studio stuff, I use the R5 for kind of like the second shot. However, it's my main camera for like vlogging, because the autofocus and the flip screen, the autofocus is so good, the RF lenses are amazing. More importantly than that is lighting. And for this big key light, I use a Godox VL 150 and then a couple of Nanlite Pavo tubes, which are great. And then audio, which is just as important, is the Deity D3 Pro, and that's ran into an XLR mini cable that the 6K Pro has. That's the other reason I bought the 6K Pro, is the ports are just so much better than the Fujis I was coming from. Now, as far as editing, everything gets edited on Final Cut Pro on my 2020 iMac, and I love that thing. But if I need a mobile solution, if I'm on the road, then I use LumaFusion on my iPad here. Finally, Alicia wants to know a few things. Go-tos on movies, road trip destinations for hiking and photography, Spotify playlists for workouts, and summer reads. Well, you might be surprised. I actually don't listen to music during workouts. I don't have Spotify. I don't even own a pair of headphones. So I don't listen to music. Books, I can't read very well. Not because I don't have like reading comprehension, but one, my ADD makes it really hard for me to keep track. And before, it was just the ADD, but now because of the concussions, it's actually just really physically hard for me to read. It kind of gives me a headache. So I listen to a lot of books on tape. So my go-tos for that is Think and Grow Rich by, I think her name's Pam Grier, maybe? I don't know her last name. But that book is awesome. It really changed my perspective on perspective and gratitude. Great book. And then my favorite book of all time by my favorite author of all time, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Such a cool dude. Such a great book. He does a bunch of other stuff too. Like the books I can't read because they're way over my head and too smart for me. He does like a lot of historical fiction. But his books on creativity and overcoming resistance are top notch, and I'm so lucky that I can kind of talk to him every once in a while. He even sent me like some signed books, and they mean everything to me. And then the book that just totally changed my financial life, and I've crushed a couple times in the last few months, is Profit First. Such an awesome book if you're trying to improve your financial health, profit, and like financial freedom. So I can't recommend those enough. Now, as far as movies go, oh God, I could go on for days. As you know, I'm a massive nerd, so anything from Marvel, I'm pretty much in. Most of the DC movies I'll watch, but I also really like political and like lawyer dramas and sci-fi. The Big Short, one of my all-time faves. That movie's amazing. And sci-fi stuff, the older sci-fi stuff like Alien and The Abyss, always top notch. Lastly, she asked for road trip destinations for hiking and photography. All right, so these are, I'm gonna be a little separate. The Pacific Northwest for road trip destinations and photography is amazing. Just amazing. The Redwoods is my all-time favorite place. That was like my all-time favorite road trip. But it's not that great for hiking per se. Utah. Like really, Utah's got some of the best hiking landscapes and visuals you're gonna find pretty much in the world. So, Utah, come and visit. Don't stay here. We don't want you to live here. It's too crowded now. But you can come visit and then leave. What'd you think, guys? I know this was a quick video. Did you like the go-tos? If you did, we could turn it into a series. You can always send me questions on IG. That's one reason you should be following me. Is if you want to be more involved on a personal level and have your questions answered in a video like this. So follow me on Instagram right here. But did you like this? If you did, we can turn it into a series. We can do a bunch of videos on specific stuff. I think that would be a lot of fun. If you did like the video, make sure you hit the like button. That goes a long way. I know it seems dumb and insignificant, but that like button is like the magical operant conditioning for YouTube's algorithm. So hit that like button, smash the shit out of it. And feel free to subscribe because it is free. And I do a lot of cool giveaways, and to be eligible, you just gotta make sure you subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I will catch you later. Peace.